If you have a large family, or perhaps you even drive professionally, then there are a few cars as useful as an MPV. But of all the ones on sale, only a few are full-size, full 7-seaters. And the car behind me, the Volkswagen Sharan, is one of them. In fact, it's about as close as you can get to an airliner on wheels without having to get a coach license. It's functional, practical, and it's got more storage cubbies than a branch of IKEA. It took me a while to get my ideal driving position in the Sharan, because once you sit behind the steering wheel and the dashboard and get comfortable, you realise there's still acres of headroom. So this is the ideal MPV for people that are really tall or like dressing as wizards at the weekend. And if you've got a propensity for hoarding, this is also perfect for you, because there are so many cubbies dotted around the dash and even these airline style overhead compartments. And that's just the start. There are enough cup holders for everyone in the vehicle. There's drawers under the front seats, which are perfect to hide your valuables. And there's this huge storage cubby on top of the dashboard. Now, normally I find I don't tend to use these, but this one's so big, you can even put stuff like an iPad in there. The dashboard looks smart, and this SE Nav version gets a 6.5-inch infotainment system. One thing to note though, is that this car comes with a £125 App Connect option, which brings you Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and MirrorLink. But it's not the most intuitive, and I found I can't actually get my phone to work with Android Auto. A much better option fitted to this car is the electric sliding rear doors. For £625, you get a couple of buttons on the dashboard, and the first time you roll to a stop, press them and the doors slide open and your passenger jumps in, then you know it's money well spent. In fact, these side doors are the Sharan's best party trick, because pull into a tight car parking space like we have so many of here in the UK, and you get really good access without worrying about bumping the car next to you. There's so much flexibility back here too. Each of these 3 middle seats can slide independently, which can adjust either the amount of legroom for the 3rd row or the amount of boot space if you have them folded down. And if you want to get into the 3rd row, then you tilt and push forward this seat, and it's really easy to get into the back. Not only that, but even with all 7 seats in place, we were able to fit all of our video kit into the 300-litre boot, which is really impressive. Fold all the rear seats down, and that space goes up to 2,297 litres, which is about as big as you can get without going for a van. While some of the larger 7-seat MPVs are van-based, the Sharan has been built from the ground up, and you can tell. There's just a sophistication to the way the chassis soaks up bumps and turns into corners, which means it really does feel very satisfying. And while that may seem like a small point for an MPV, if it means the driver and passengers get a more comfortable journey, then it can only be a good thing. This Sharan is fitted with the optional dynamic chassis control, with different settings for comfort, normal and sport. And while it does make the Sharan ride even better, and then obviously let you firm it up if you want to, the standard setup's so good that we don't think most people will need it. Engines range from a 113 bhp diesel to either a petrol or diesel, both with 148 bhp, and a range-topping diesel with 181 bhp. And while it all comes standard with a 6-speed manual, you can get an automatic DSG gearbox on all but the entry-level version. This car is the mid-range diesel with a manual gearbox, and we'd say this engine with the auto is the sweet spot in the range, because, well, there's nothing wrong with this gearbox. It is slightly notchy, and after a full day of driving, it could get a little bit tiring, so we think a smoother and less fatiguing auto would probably be the way to go. In 2015, Sharans were updated with the latest Euro 6 engines, boosting efficiency by around 15%, and Volkswagen claims this car can achieve 56 mpg, which should be achievable so long as your journey takes into account some motorway driving. Sharan starts from 26 grand, slightly undercutting the Ford Galaxy, while this mid-spec diesel costs from 31,000. However, the car I'm sitting in now comes in at 34,000, thanks to options including uprated alloy wheels and suspension, a winter pack, front fog lights, and even an integrated child seat in the third row. Like a sports car designed to smash lap records, it feels like the design team for the Sharan have had a brief and they've absolutely nailed it. If you simply need to transport lots of people and their equipment, then there are a few better tools for the job. Its easy fold seating system, sliding rear doors and pleasant drive mean it's as good for passengers as it is for the driver. But could you see you and your 6 passengers in a Volkswagen Sharan? Let us know in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. To inquire about this car, click on the button now, or for any other vehicle visit carkeys.co.uk. And to watch more reviews like this one, click on the links on screen now.